Yes, guys, we're doing another damn giveaway. All that you have to do is press the like button, be subscribed, and make sure you comment down below your favorite cryptocurrency that you would like to be paid in, because today we're giving away $50 in any cryptocurrency that you would like. So comment it down below. And guys, I'm trying to get so many sponsorships and partners to make sure they can give more things away. So you'll definitely see a lot of cool things pop by that it's going to be given away. Right now, it's all coming out of the pocket, nothing sponsored, nothing given for free. No. But soon, hopefully, we can get some crazy things going because I think you guys would like that a ton. Having said that, though, guys, let's explore a little bit of something that's very, very worrisome. And there's a couple of words in there which I can't pronounce, but trust me, it is very, very worrisome, and that is very, very positive for XRP, all right? Honest. But no, it is very, very worrisome for the entire economy. First article of today, British banks have worries beyond CV. Hard hit by the CV-related economic contraction, UK banks also face Brexit uncertainty and the increasing likelihood of negative interest rates. Keep that in mind for just now. The CV pandemic pummeled British banks in the second quarter as many companies struggled to reopen and individuals reduced spending and deferred payments on loans. The industry is also grappling with Brexit and the increasing likelihood of negative interest rates. So briefly here, I got to tell you guys a couple of things. First of all, any bank and any government's fears is that people are going to be spending less, and that people are going to be loaning less, people are going to be investing less, because it really drives your economy into a very, very negative spiral. However, to combat a lot of that, most of the time they lower the interest rates so people save less because it's less profitable, and so people consume now instead of in the future. But for that, there's also going to be good times, so they don't anticipate for something in the future. But also, so people are going to be investing more because it's safer to borrow money, or it's actually cheaper. However, that can only happen to a certain degree, right? And that's also what's said in here, that they're looking out for negative interest rates. And I really recommend you guys to quickly do a little bit of a Google about what negative interest rates are. I've explained it very, very often on the channel. And right now I'm in Switzerland exploring with a banker from here. I actually have to talk with him today. I've actually already had it, but still. About negative interest rates and about the Swiss banking and about a couple of things that I was really, really wondering about. But also, go check out this video by Economics Explained. It's called Negative Interest Rates Explained. You can also just go for another different one if you type this in on Google. Just check a couple videos out because it's really going to blow your mind, all right? The idea behind negative interest rates is so scary and so strange that I think you reconsider a lot of different things about the banking sector as a whole. And also, somebody just in the comment section said this: how to be a successful financial institution. First of all, you crash the economy. Then you get the government to pay your dues. Then you get free money from negative interest rates, and then threaten to crash the economy again if the interest rates ever go up. That's if you guys get it, you get it. It's definitely be interesting. But however, negative interest rates does not entail that you will ever be paid to borrow money. It doesn't really work like that. But he said, I guess you missed the Danish bank offering negative interest rate mortgages then. But really, in general, you don't really got to consider that you'll be paid to borrow money. It works a little bit differently in that regard, but it's about the bigger picture, bigger idea. But for today, I don't want to explain negative interest rates too bad, but just for the sake here, so some people understand that had no idea. Negative interest rates have resulted in a direct decline in interest margins and therefore in a decrease in profitability. Competition between banks and the option for clients to hold liquidity in cash do not allow for the negative interest rates to be passed on the individual clients. So that's again why it doesn't really go on to clients itself, but it's the idea. However, as I said before, check the video out. You will not regret it. And there's a couple of other ones you can check out as well, which I really, really recommend. If you've done that though, let's explore that a little bit deeper, right? And why am I trying to say that? Well, what I've been thinking about here is what is gonna go on if they would all go for a negative interest rate. Well, partially it's explained in here. The banking sector would most likely not survive. And I don't know if it's this one or if it's one of these other negative interest rates videos. I watched like 2 or 3 of them back in the day, but one of them was really, really good. But since they're all like 10, 5, 10 minutes is one of these ones, I can't be bothered to watch them again. So just check them all out or check some out and you'll notice when it's good because, well, you'll learn things. So check it out. what I thought about is like, why are people worried about this? What's going on? And what I know is that a lot of countries right now, in the banking sector at least, are struggling very, very hard. India just posted this. Indian banks to require more capital as safeguard against stress. And also I just saw this. Nationwide coin shortage hits Idaho and banks are asking for your loose change. Banks, they want to control money, right? They want to make sure they have everything to do with all the money that you own. And another thing I'm thinking here is banks would also like you to deposit as much money as you can and have as lowest amount of cash as possible, which is something in their policy, right? They want you to have the least amount of cash possible. First of all, so they can monitor you better. Also, they can loan out more, so it makes it more profitable for them. But also so they have more to control here. They can provide more to different sectors. They can do everything with it. And right now, people are hoarding coins, hoarding cash, holding things that have value, intrinsic ones, like the for example, copper or just silver or something, coins and things like that, because they at least have some sort of intrinsic value to them. And I'm thinking again, that people are noticing that the banking sector is kind of changing a little bit. It's becoming less and less safe, and people don't want to spend as much in the banks and are trying to get out of it a little bit. Then another two articles, How to Save Banks. What two recent books by former RBI Governor Urjit Patel and Deputy Governor Viral Acharya said about the problems causing the country's financial sector is not only the RBI, it's all the banks everywhere that are really, really struggling right now. And there's a lot of ways to save them, but it always has two sides to it all, right? And then many Bay Area banks temporarily closed, impacting customers due to, again, the CCV. You guys know what I mean here. With the Wells Fargo branch on MacArthur Boulevard in Oakland was also closed. And it's not just for Bank of America. Here you can see, we looked at Bank of America's website and found at least 79 branches closed throughout the Bay Area. The company warned back in March already made changes to reduce hours, blah, 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 blah. Point is, we just saw now in one of my previous videos, Warren Buffett is buying into Bank of America. This is no small feat. This is no joke. Banks are doing really, really bad right now in a lot of different countries. The support for banks is insane, but still you got to think about it. The support has got to come from somewhere. So what we see with that is these banks are trying to survive, right? Bank holiday in August, banks to remain closed for the many days. The RBI has released a list of days when the banking operators across the country will remain shut for the month. However, certain holidays vary from state to state. Holiday includes Sunday and the second and fourth Saturdays. That's over in India. But also, what you should consider there is that this is all just really, really made a lot worse because of, I guess, the big situation where banks are really looking at negative interest rates and looking like, what can we do and what's going on? Because negative interest rates would mean banking system doesn't work anymore. And even now on WSJ.com, this article was just posted a couple of days ago, they're worrying about negative interest rates. And this article is really to show that there's more than just CV, which causes most likely negative interest rates, but also Brexit. But the negative interest rates for every country out there, which is really, really something to watch out for. And another question was, why do people still use cash? And why this question is so popular right now, I would say, is because a lot of us are looking at crypto like, why are we not all adopting crypto? Why are we not all hopping on the bandwagon? Why is XRP still not mainly adopted and things like that? Because people still use their banks. People still use the traditional system because it's still easy. People still use cash payments because it's still simple. Here, Richard Morris said, I work as a self-employed maths tutor. Virtually all my income is in cash. It is very convenient for small transactions between individuals. The only requirement is that the buyer has some cash on them. There is no need to accounts to be set up. No need for the special electronic devices or cards. You don't need to ensure both people are on the same system. You don't need to remember passwords. Now I can quickly pause him right there because cash and really the system that we have right now, they're very, very outers. Where it's like, this is, for example, really, really, really on the left. The other system he's referring to is really, really on the right. Why? Because, for example, XRP, which is not cash, not the other system, is really in the middle here. You don't need to set up an account if you don't want to, all right? There's a ton of different ways to do this. You can just go to a certain shop or whatever once XRP is settled everywhere. Or you can just do it on your phone without even making an account. You can just download the app, be done. No need for special electronic devices or cards. Well, you just need a phone. I think most people have a phone right now, which, if you don't, then I guess this is maybe not the best thing for you to go to a fully electronic world. So I don't know about that one. You don't, cards, well, you don't need a card if you don't want to. You don't need to ensure both people are on the same system. You don't. No, you don't. You can send him XRP even though he doesn't have it. Even though he has no idea what you're talking about, you can still send it to him. But that just depends on how far you want to take it and how you want to transact, but it's a possibility. And then you don't need to remember passwords. Again, PayID is coming in to make everything simple. It's also to make sure that you don't need to do very, very crazy things. You don't need to remember private keys and all that type of stuff, or I mean just your public key and all that type of stuff. So you could just make everything very, very simple with PayID as well. As a small seller, I could potentially get a PayPal card reader, which would allow me to accept card payments. This would cost 50 pounds up front and cost me a 2.75% fee per transaction, PayPal chip, and PIN card reader. I don't pay anyone a fee when I receive payments in cash. I do have to pay a fee when it goes into my business account. For me, there is no benefit in getting one. Basically, again, he says that there's no, he has to pay a lot of fees. Again, if you use XRP, just depending on how to do it, if they just go with their phone to your phone or things like that, you don't really need anything at all. And I mean, it's confirmed. There's no scam possible. If they send the money, they can't charge it back. They can't do anything, so you don't need a fancy card reader or anything like that. They can just use their phone, even though through the XRP tip out, it could also be done really, really simply. And thus, with that small example, it's like, why would you still use cash? What are the good parts about it that you can't do with XRP right then and there? The only reason I see people use cash is because they don't trust the system that we have right now. People don't want to put everything in banks right now because banks are looking really, really scary, partially because of negative interest rates. And if you watch this video, you know why that doesn't really work out too well. However, what I explained in the last couple of videos, first of all, Warren Buffett is buying into Bank of America, which has a connection to Ripple, which is really, really big. But also what I've been explaining here is that the banks failing would be hugely positive for XRP. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I've explained it in 4 different videos, 4 different parts, 4 different things. So you got to check out my content, man. You got to do that. Then let's see here. How will cryptocurrencies fare in a recession? That actually has to do a little bit with the fact that I just said negative interest rates would come, which would most likely be a big sign of a recession because everything would hit the fan. And it also depends on whether or not we already have negative interest rates or if they're coming up now. But let's say, for example, they're thinking about negative interest rates. So they're already doing really, really bad and they want to lower the interest rates once more to get the economy running again. How will cryptocurrencies fare in a recession? Right now, I would say Binance has done a research and they said that Bitcoin was down 10% over the quarter, but still outperformed the S&P 500, which experienced a 19% drop. According to the report, the correlation was fairly high at 0.57, as shown through similar patterns in daily business day returns. What I have to say about that is the correlation is relatively high. However, Bitcoin and Ethereum demonstrated a record high correlation with 93. And in the end, that is just for now. All right, that is just for now. That's for a very specific market movement. However, how will cryptocurrencies fare in a recession in the future is really, and the answer to that is we can't really be sure. And the main reason for that is we haven't experienced anything like this before. We don't really know how mainly adopted cryptocurrency would be. We don't know how far the US is going to fall this time, or the whole world is going to be falling. We don't know how big of an impact this will all have on the banking sector. We don't know how far the negative interest rates are going to be impacting everything. In the end, that's all going to decide how good cryptos are going to be doing and how the correlations are going to be looking like. Because at this point, it's all looking really, really positive, but for XRP that is. But it's just a little bit of a playing field here. We don't know exactly what things are going to be coming up. I think Warren Buffett knows a couple of things. That's why he's buying into Bank of America. Bank of America is closing so many of those things. He either knows, all right, Bank of America has the connection to Ripple. I want to be into that. Because Brad Gungning has also said a lot of main banks are going to be hopping on. Maybe he was like, you know what, I want to hop onto Bank of America so they don't work with Ripple. Maybe it's something very, very negative. I don't think so, but all right. Maybe he's like, man, these banks are so cheap right now because they're doing so bad. I want to hop in and help them get back up. Maybe he knows about the QE that's going on, which really negatively affects banks over the longer run. Short term is very, very positive. Maybe he wants to grab a ton of money like the guy in the comments just now said at the bottom here, which said like, just crash everything and make a lot of money on the side by doing all that. It could also be, we don't know, we won't know. But guys, that was it for this video. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. And I'm really, really wondering, what do you think is going to happen to crypto if negative interest rates are to pop up everywhere around the world and really the banking sector fails? Would crypto prosper or would they do really, really bad because Ripple's or XRP is a banker coin? I think XRP would do really, really well, but what do you think? Let me know in the comment section down below. And I'll see you guys again in another crypto video.